Now, you made the news everywhere. I don't know if it was a month or two ago when they had the transgender wrestler Nyla Rose win the AEW Women's Championship. Uh, we heard a lot about Cody Rhodes' side of it and Dustin Rhodes' side of it. Could you give us your side of it?
Yeah, I shared my opinion online. I guess you're not allowed to share your opinion online. I think Cody Rhodes is a smart guy. I always assumed he was a smart guy. Um, but I think he's getting sucked into this social justice warrior BS. It's a lot of people, humans are going to be human. You're always going to have those people that will take my words out of context and will just run with whatever they feel instead of what the facts are. And I didn't knock Nyla Rose. Even Jim Ross, I guess, apparently somebody was telling me that Jim Ross, said I was knocking Nyla Rose. I never knocked Nyla Rose. I trolled using Nyla Rose's name after everybody flipped out, but I didn't knock Nyla Rose. I knocked the booking of Nyla Rose. And I think, when you're in business, your business is to make money. You make money by giving the fans something that they want, need, or desire. And you're always going to have your small little vocal crowd of insane social justice warriors. Those are all the same people that are maintaining a 6-foot social distance because they've been indoctrinated to believe that's what you need to do, and you're a criminal if you don't. It's insanity. But a lot of these social justice warriors, took it to heart. They came after me saying I was knocking Nyla Rose. I wasn't knocking Nyla Rose. I was knocking the booking of Nyla Rose, and I still knock the booking of Nyla Rose. There's what I believe to be in society a nature to humans. There's natural tendencies built into humans. And when you take programming, you take entertainment, and you try to manipulate and condition the human population against something that is natural to you win over some. You win over some that say, we'll base all of their forward motion on that particular storyline on feelings and emotions rather than fact or logic. They made a man. This is what AEW did. I don't know who wrote this, but whoever did needs to get their head examined. They took Nyla Rose, who the majority of wrestling fans, they know that that's a transgender. They know it. It's a fact. It's a fact of life. And instead of using a true fact of life and running with it, they decided to turn around and say, no, let's ignore that. We're going to ignore that because it's socially acceptable to have transgenders in society. Okay, I'm down with that, but it's still a transgender that's going into a woman's sport. If we're talking about, shoot, right? You're seeing a transgender biological male go into a woman's sport. Where's the fairness in this? If you're talking about reality and you want to suspend my sense of reality for 2 hours when I'm watching the programming, now I have to sit back and work and force myself to ignore the fact that that's a woman that's in the or a man in a woman's division. And when you got to make the fans work to ignore some form of reality in order to follow along with your storyline, you just don't cater to the majority of wrestling fans. And I'm sorry to say that, but you don't. How would I have booked Nyla Rose? I would have more booked Nyla Rose as, this is a transgender. She wants her rights. She wants to compete against women. And Cody should have said, you can't. I understand we support your change to go from man to woman, but you can't compete against women because you're still biologically a man, and nothing's ever going to change that. And then have Nyla Rose go out, get her lawyers. They have a big lawsuit against Cody Rhodes. And then Cody Rhodes is forced to allow Nyla Rose to compete against women. And just have her destroy the women. You'd have the biggest, it would be a huge amount of heelism for Nyla Rose. But instead of actually playing on something that is fact and making money with it, which ultimately benefits everybody. It benefits the company. It benefits Nyla Rose. It benefits all the rest of the boys because you're putting more asses in the seats. When you can take something that's real and play it up. No, they don't do that. The social justice warriors say, No, that's too offensive. Let's push that aside and let's just never mention that Nyla Rose is a transgender. It's insanity. Never mention she's a transgender, like we're stupid or something. It's just stupid. The booking of Nyla Rose is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And you know, I mean, I love Jim Ross. He's one of the best commentators in the world. But it's when I hear Jim Ross say or talk about Nyla Rose in she and her, it just doesn't sit right, man. It's hard to believe. He's a fully grown man and he's catering to the social justice warriors that don't want their feelings hurt. And I'm not down with that, man. I'm just not. It's just the way it is. I think they're shooting Nyla Rose's bank account in the foot. They're shooting the company in the foot. They're shooting all the rest of the boys in the foot too, just for their own social justice desires. It's crazy.
Well, they haven't seen too much of an increase in their ratings. They've actually gone down. They haven't really gained any viewers since they started. So I guess it's not catching on too much. But for the people that allege that you were homophobic because you disagree with the transgender wrestling, the females, the way they presented it, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, these social justice warriors have no clue what being transphobic really means. You know, I don't hate anybody. You know, I would go smoke a doobie with Nyla Rose and I'd pick her brain and you know, see what makes her tick. I'd love to do that. You know, I don't hate Nyla Rose, but they'll still call you transphobic because saying that word, regardless of what it means, makes them feel good. They're entitled to feel good all the time, these people. And if saying something that's completely insane, like Val Venis, you're transphobic, if that makes them feel better, okay, run with it, pansy boy. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where they don't even understand what transphobic means. Transphobic is where you hate someone because of their life choices. I don't hate Nyla Rose. I've never hated Nyla Rose. There's nothing I hate about Nyla Rose. I do not agree with the booking of Nyla Rose. I think it's you're short-sighted when you're ignoring what you could factually use to make a lot of money with, just because you don't want to offend anyone's feelings. What the hell happened to wrestling? I thought wrestling offended people. You know, it's crazy.
That's exactly one of the things that I think is wrong with wrestling, that it's so PC now and like
Oh, it's crazy.
non-offensive. And MMA's gone the other way. Like they're way more popular, and it's what wrestling used to be. And we're the fake stuff, but we have to be so like by the book. It's unfortunate, in my opinion. But
It really is, and I got to tell you, this new easily offended social justice warrior world, it's a sad world, man. You got to be careful what you say because somebody will flip out because they're offended, and it's a sad world to live in. Like you got to cross your T's and dot your I's every step you take. It's not like it was back in the day where you could take something that was a minor issue backstage, and then two wrestlers would be like, "Hey, man, you and I got an issue with that. Why don't we take this on the road?" And I mean, when people know something's happening, and you get a team of guys that make that real little thing happen and blow that real thing up into something that's huge, the fans can bite into it. But when you ignore reality and push it aside and just create these storylines, don't mention that, you know, she's a biological man. Let's just make everybody believe she's a woman, and she's a woman with the woman's title, and we'll promote her like a woman too. They should be promoting her like a biological man that just robbed the women's division of the women's championship. And but that hurts people's feelings, right? And let's face it, there are high school kids and their families all over America. One of the most prominent ones in Connecticut right now that is suing the school board for allowing transgenders to compete in track and field in their district, and it cost some girls that were the top real women in their track and field divisions. It cost them scholarships. That's an issue. Like, I'm sorry, that's a real life issue. I would like to interview them one day, and I wonder what their thoughts would be on Cody Rhodes or whoever else is, handling Nyla Rose and completely ignoring the fact that she's a biological male winning a women's title. I wonder what those girls in Connecticut would say about that.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.